Breaking news from Washington: President Trump has announced a major escalation in trade tensions with Canada. Starting this Wednesday, the United States will double tariffs on all Canadian steel and aluminum imports to a staggering 50%. This comes as a response to Ontario's recent decision to impose a 25% surcharge on electricity exports to the U.S. But what does this mean for both nations? How will it impact businesses, workers, and consumers? Let's break it all down. During a press conference at the White House, President Trump made the announcement, citing what he calls unfair trade practices by Canada. Here's what he had to say. Now, let's take a closer look at the numbers. Currently, Canada is the largest supplier of steel and aluminum to the U.S., providing around 15% of all steel imports. These industries are critical for everything from construction to automobile manufacturing. In 2023 alone, Canada exported over $14 billion worth of steel and aluminum to the U.S. with these tariffs in place. The cost of these materials is expected to rise significantly, affecting businesses and potentially leading to job losses on both sides of the border. Canada has a few options. They could challenge the tariffs under international trade agreements, or they could retaliate with new tariffs on American products. We've seen this before. Back in 2018. When the U.S. imposed tariffs, Canada responded with duties on U.S. goods like whiskey, ketchup, and even dairy products. Canadian Prime Minister Name has already issued a statement condemning the U.S. tariffs and calling them unjustified. He hinted at possible countermeasures to protect Canadian industries. So, what do industry leaders and workers think about all this? We spoke to some experts and factory workers to get their take. This isn't the first time the U.S. and Canada have clashed over trade. From softwood lumber disputes to the dairy industry tensions, both countries have had their fair share of trade battles. But this time, the stakes are higher. Meanwhile, reactions in Washington have been mixed. Some lawmakers support Trump's decision, arguing that it protects American workers. Others warn that these tariffs could backfire. So, how will all of this affect everyday Americans? Well, prices on goods made with steel and aluminum like cars, beer cans, and construction materials are likely to rise. If Canada retaliates, we could also see higher prices on Canadian products like maple syrup, dairy, and lumber. As we wait to see how Canada responds, the big question remains: is this the start of a full-blown trade war, or will both sides come to the negotiating table? One thing's for sure: this move will have ripple effects across North America. What do you think about Trump's decision to double tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum? Do you support it, or are you worried about the consequences?